Hello, everyone. My name is Noah, and today we're going to be continuing to look at a scenario where civilization starts over. This is episode 3 of my series. Um, yeah, we actually got a lot done in our last episode. Like, the world has really, we've seen a lot of new expansion throughout the world. So that's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I think the first thing we're gonna start with definitely is we're going to start over here in Crimea, the Crimea region of the Pontic Empire. I guess it's like a Pontic Empire at this point. I'd say they're big enough to be an empire. Um, Let me make sure I have all the settings correct. Hold on a minute, because I will admit sometimes like Paint.net like changes it. There we go. Yeah. So they're going to be continuing their claims up here a bit. They're going to come around the Black Sea and fully encompass it. They're going to bring this out a bit more. And they'll also take up this kind of Circassian region. Actually, not sure what like oblast it's a part of now in like modern day Russia, but I know that's like Circassia. But yeah, so that's the Pontics. They've grown a bit. We're actually going to see the formation of a new nation. It's been a bit of time since we've seen one, but over here in the kind of Transylvania region, like Romania, we're going to see a new nation. Anyway, we're gonna see the sorry about that. We're gonna see the creation of a Transylvanian state. Actually, I'm gonna change their color a bit, make them like a lighter color. Yeah, that's good. So we're gonna see them kind of create like a little nation over here. They'll kind of create a border with the Byzantines and the Pontics. They're not, yeah, they're not overly strong or big or anything like that, but they're something, that's for sure. So let's give them their capital. Okay, I think I'm actually gonna change their color again because you really can't see their capital. I think that's good, like that kind of yellowish color. I think that's fine. That works. Yeah. Let's move on to the Egyptians. I definitely think we'll have them explore more out into the Sahara Desert. Let me bring it up a bit. We'll definitely have them come out a bit more. They're bound to go into the desert, I'm sure. It's not like unbelievable. We'll have the Moroccans explore more down here. Come down a bit more. So we have, like the Northern Sahara being discovered. But we'll also have more of the Nile area being discovered. Let's move to Scandinavia because I actually have a country in mind for this region. It was actually a commenter who created this country in, I guess, based on their own name. We will see a new nation form known as the Fadonian Empire. They're not much of an empire yet. However, they're not nothing. They take a nice space over here, right next to Pomerania. So that's nice for them. Let's give them their capital. So their capital will go right here, in this kind of like meeting point between Sweden and the island, whatever this island is called. I know Copenhagen is on this island, but yeah, it's kind of that meeting point. It's just a good zone for trade. I don't know. Maybe there's stuff coming in and out. Not right now, at least. Not too much, but maybe there is. Maybe there's a little bit. We'll have the Pomeranians explore a bit into the European mainland, kind of these mainland regions. I think this is like Silesia or something like that. And they'll come up more into this region over here of like Kaliningrad or Königsberg. I definitely like the name Königsberg a lot more. I think it sounds nicer. But yeah, we'll have them come out a bit more. I think that's nice. They're definitely becoming very prominent over here. We'll have them buff out a bit more into like more German regions and come up a little bit into Denmark, taking that little island. I hope that's an island. Let's have them explore a bit more into the Baltic regions, just because it just makes sense. They're. I mean, I really don't think that the Pomeranians are like exploring this per se. I think it's just, settlers who are just finding new places because, the world really is not that settled. There's still a lot of world to be settled, including the New World, of course, but that'll come in later. Over here, on the other hand, we'll actually see this. We'll see an Irish nation form. These guys are kind of their own distinct group who I guess kind of came here a while ago, maybe from like another nation. They're different enough that they have kind of a different culture. I'd say they've explored most of it, but we're going to see a new Irish nation form. I think they'll come over here and they'll just kind of make their way these coastal regions of Ireland. I think it's kind of swampy over here. I'm actually not sure. Is it mountainous or swampy? I really don't know Ireland's geography that well. But yeah, they'll take kind of these western regions of Ireland. But over here, I'll actually put their capital real quick. So yeah, over here we will see them officially, start their little nation of their own. However, over here we will see the Venetians create a small colony on this kind of, I think this is Wessex, like the lower parts of England, kind of London area right here. That being said, their little strike, or I don't know how to put it, their little thing of luck here, they're very big. They're about to get a civil war. In their capital zone, we will see an entire league of just, well, I guess just a break off group. They believe in democracy, not monarchy, which is the current government that the Venetian Empire is under. These guys will actually continue on. Let's actually turn on the major city map. They will break through into a lot of this. I would say, like I said, this. Actually, I don't know if I said this, but this is the core region of the Venetian land, and they will break through and crush all of these. These are, I'm not sure if I already said, these are the Cockavelians. They were made by my friend Anthony, and they are, they are currently absolutely demolishing. So remember, they come from like the very, not industrialized because we don't have industrialization, but like, I guess like, there's a lot more work going on here. With this, though, we will actually see several groups break off. Over here in northern Portugal, we will see a kind of, I think this region's called Galicia. Or, sorry, this isn't northern Portugal, this is part of Spain. Galicia, we will see this kind of region break off from the Venetian Empire, and their actual main goal is to unite with the Almeridians. Speaking of the Almeridians, they will actually begin their own attack on Venetian holdings, and they will encircle this city, but they will not take it. But they will continue down into the shore over here. Right here, though, we will actually see an entirely different region form. They're actually closer related to the red group. Actually, let me show the religion, or not religion map, the ethnicity map. So they're actually closely related to the Moroccans over down here. And they will actually begin to break off. And they don't take that city, but I guess it's just kind of like them reacting to the fact that this Venetian government is now going absolutely crazy. And also the fact that the Almeridians are attempting to take this land. And they will continue until the Almeridians right here, and they officially take the city. The Cacavellians will actually continue to take and take and take from this region until this entire region, like this Illyria, no, I almost said Iberia. This whole Illyrian area comes under their control, along with all of southern Italy, including Sicily and Malta. But we will see them continue to go into Rome, into Florence, maybe. I guess it's kind of close to where Florence is. Like it's like in this region, I guess. But they will continue and continue to go and go. The actual Venetian government is currently like collapsing. I guess they're trying to. Well, they've actually left to go to Sardinia. They're being held up here because most of the country's nation is for the Republic. And with that, we will see this entire part of, well, the Empire come under their power, including, but not limited to, Corsica, the Balears, I believe they're called, and finally their colony in Britain. The Egyptians, rather just seeing the weakness of the Cacavellians, they will begin their own invasion of Tunisia, and they will take it in very, very short time. They were kind of anticipating this to happen, just eventually find a time to take this region. They will then fully annex it. We will see what the Cacavellians have to say about this, but currently they're still focused on crushing the rest of the Venetians, in which they will be invading navally into Sardinia and crushing both of these capitals. And with that, they will kill the former emperor of the Venetian Empire. So officially, the Venetians cease to exist. I guess it's the same country, but a new government, but it will now go under the name of the Cacavellian Republic. These are the new Cacavellians. Speaking of government, actually, did I add the government layer? I forgot if I added this. Oh, yes, I did. And by the way, I forgot to mention this, but they were actually inspired by the Crete people, and they are actually a democracy. They're a democratic republic. And with that, the Venetian Empire, or the new Cacavellian Republic, will become a democratic republic. With that being said, though, the fight is not over. In fact, it's still pretty ongoing. These Galatians will continue to go into more Cacavellian regions. But the Cacavellians will actually, unlike most countries in this series so far, decide to make a peaceful agreement with the Galicians. So the peace deal will look a little something like this. The Almeridians will fully annex the Almeridians will fully annex the Galician regions, along with these two small regions. That being said, though, the Cacavellians still actually have a claim here, and they will attempt to suppress this revolt, this kind of Moroccan, Al-Andalusian, kind of Granadan revolt. They will break into this region, fully taking that city, because I guess they had like kind of residential regions in the outskirts, and continue more and more into these regions. But these guys will actually successfully be able to fend off against the Almeridians a bit, and actually even take this region that they have a full claim on from an actual, like, they actually have authority over this region. They will take it, along with pushing more into these regions. With that, the Cacavellians, ever so understanding, I suppose, will decide to make an agreement with the, I guess, Grenadans as well. The peace deal will look a little something like this. The Cacavellians will actually take this region as a little enclave, because I guess if there's just a good trading port here. Let me actually add that. It's a major city then. But, the Grenadins will take this region and this region, and they will make this their capital. But yeah, there we go. That's what it looks like. Very nice. So, as you can see, the Cacavellian Republic is actually rather popular, despite, going to war with both of these guys. They're pretty popular throughout. Not with these guys, on the other hand. They still see them as the Venetians. They still absolutely hate them. With this, though, in the military alliances, we will actually see the Almeridians leave, as unlike these guys, they do not view the Cacavellians as the same as the Venetians, as the Venetian government, the Venetian Empire, rather. So they will actually leave. They don't love the Cacavellians. I will admit that. Like, they still prefer these guys over the Cacavellians. Oh, jeez. They still prefer these guys, but I guess they're more neutral now on that matter. The Machiavellians will continue to grow their colonial claim in Britain, claiming this kind of part of Wales over here. They're definitely gonna create a sizable colony over here. They're gonna get a bit of Cornwall, and they'll stop there. They'll begin to explore a bit more. They'll discover more of Wales. They'll go up into like this. Not really sure. I actually don't know much about like Britain. Its names. I know it's like the ancient kingdoms, like the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, like Umbria was over here. I'm pretty sure they'll find Isle of Man, and then get into like lower Scotland, like southern Scottish regions, right there. But they will stop their explorations there. So the Cacavellian Republic, they are, I would say now. No, I would still say the Egyptians are more powerful. Speaking of the Egyptians, let's actually boost out their claims a bit more. Let's have them grow. Sorry about that. Let's have them come out a bit. Wait a minute. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong thing. Let's have their claims come out a bit more over here. So yeah, they'll just come out a bit more. Pick this little oasis area, I guess. Come out there. There we go. They'll also come out into the Arabian Peninsula, kind of taking this like uh Mecca and well no, wait. I think Medina's up here and Mecca's here. Or it's the other way around, I forgot. But yeah, they'll continue to come more into the Hejaz area over here. Kind of looking like the mom looks a bit, but yeah. That's very nice. They're definitely still the most powerful. Let's actually check who the largest is. So we have the Cacavellians. They are about 30,000 pixels. The Egyptians are okay. So they are 30,000. They are 30,048 pixels, and the Cacavellians are 29,803 pixels. So they're pretty on par size wise. Strength wise, I would still say the Egyptians are more powerful. The Persians are 22,000. So yeah, they're pretty. The Egyptians are still. These two are pretty on par. I would still say, like I said, the Egyptians are definitely, especially navally, more powerful. We're going to see the Pomeranians continue into these kind of like Prussian regions a bit. They're not going to expand too much, but they're going to expand nonetheless. Over here, they'll kind of, I guess they're just going to become a bit thicker. But yeah, so they are. I do not like the way that looks. Let's just leave it like this. Let's just say they're consolidating power for now. I think that's a better way to put it. But yeah, so they're no, we'll just keep it like that for now. Okay, instead we'll actually have them come up and they'll have a border with the Germans. They will share a border over here. There we go. I'll come a bit more into Denmark before stopping. Wait, no, I want them to take that. There you go. I think we're just going to see a bit more European expansion. We'll see these Transylvanians come over here a bit, kind of elongate, make a border with the Cacavellians. They're not all, like I've said, they're not all too powerful. They're kind of just claiming land. They're a very new nation. Speaking of, I actually need to add. I'll add their governments once the video's over. That's a later thing. The Confederation of the Germans will continue along the border with the Cacavellian Republic. I they're probably not sure what to think of the Cacavellians because I guess they could be better or worse in some ways. They're I guess they're not really sure what to think of this new republic nation. But yeah, no, we're actually seeing Europe fill out a lot more. This is actually pretty nice. Yeah. That's cool. That's very, very cool. Let's go to East Asia for a bit. I think that's definitely well, let's have them actually explore more. Since you could tell like I've really not been focusing on this region all too much. I'll have them come out like that until they get to Vietnam, because Vietnam has a lot of it's just mountains and rainforest, which is probably like the most annoying and difficult things to explore. But yeah, we'll see them explore all of that. We'll also see more exploration into the Indian subcontinent. Honestly, I'm not really sure why India isn't its own continent anyway. I mean, it has more reason to be a continent than Europe does. Sorry to any Europeans watching, but that is true. Like India is more of a continent than Europe is, and I'm not even gonna get into that whole thing. That's just a spiel. With this though, we will actually see the establishment of a new Indian nation. Actually, we're gonna see the establishment of a few. So yeah, here we will see the establishment of this kind of. I think this was historically like there was a kingdom here known as Gondwana, so we'll just call this Gondwana. Yes, I know that's like also the ancient continent, but I believe there was like a region, a kingdom here called Gondwana. I'm not sure. We'll see this little red Indian nation form, and this is Solaria, made by my friend Jote. This is it's kind of like a southern Indian Dravidian uh kingdom. I don't know why that. I don't know if you guys heard that, but I hate when it does that. The Iranians will explore more into the kind of Afghan mountains over here. I believe this is kind of where it is. I think we've actually discovered at this point. We've probably discovered all of Afghanistan, but we'll see them explore a lot more over here. Kind of chew at the Himalayas a little for slowing down. But we will also see them expand a good bit, I think. That's definitely like an appropriate thing for them right now. They're oh, sorry, I'm still getting used to these layers. But yeah, they will continue on into these regions. But yeah, they're definitely the okay, they have to be the most powerful at this point. Yeah, I would say they're the most powerful nation. But let's actually check. They are currently 36,000. So they are officially the largest nation on Earth. The Caspians will continue along up the shore of the Caspian Sea, taking these regions here. So yeah, the Caspian nation, they have really not done much, but that's better than nothing. These, the Azeri, wrong layer. The Azeri will make their claim over here and take that, which they probably won't be able to take much land else. It's weird, like gap here that they kind of squeeze through. I mean, it's not that tight of a gap. Let me fix this just a bit. Let me make it look a little more natural. That's better. That's already better. See? They're not taking land, guys. They're just making it look more natural. So yeah, they'll take a little bit more land, not too much, but it's better than nothing. The Cacavellians will continue their expanse into the island of Britain. Gonna come up here a bit. Go up here. The Irish, on the other hand, they will do some exploration, unlike a lot of other nations, and similarly to the Omani over here, they will actually do more sea exploration. So they will actually come out pretty far into the sea, and they will essentially serve as like a sort of like Viking group, kind of just pillaging and making a name for themselves, I guess. They're kind of becoming known to the other nations, especially like these surrounding nations over here. They will discover, like, I believe these are the Falkland Islands, these ones. Not sure what these ones are called, but they will continue to discover. And discover they'll come into Scandinavia. Over here in Scotland, they will come up these kind of highland areas and colonize, making small settlements, but settlements nonetheless on these regions. We will also see them come over here and scoop around, take the Isle of Man. They will come up to the Falklands, settle it. They will also come right here and settle it, and come along this kind of Horn of Ireland and take these, along with a few Scandinavian settlements in these rocky. So I guess they just like mountains, surprisingly. I don't know why they would, but I guess they do. This is the ethnicity map. So as we could see, we have the Germanic group, the Venetian group. These guys all come from Egypt. This is the Pontic Greek kind of group. These guys are kind of like I guess they're kind of like Slavs over here. These, on the other hand, these are the Irish kind of Celtic peoples. They have similar cultures in these two regions here. And with that, for now, they will invade Galicia over here, and they will make their small settlement. The Almeridians, of course, will fiercely oppose this by smashing into this pillaging settlement and taking this region. But these guys over here, these Irishmen, will continue their way down before crushing back in, and in fact, taking more and continuing in their fight against the Almeridians. And surprisingly, they're fighting well. They're fighting extremely well for their size and also lack of advancements. That being said, the Almeridians will actually see Cacavellian troops aid them in their fight against the Irishmen. Eventually, over probably a few years, the Irishmen will be fully kicked out of Galicia. The Almeridians are actually starting to see the Cacavellians as a very worthy, I guess, ally, interestingly, which is funny because they absolutely hated the Venetians. And, you know, the I believe the Diamond Alliance, that's the government. Where is the military? There it is. The Diamond Alliance are really starting to dislike the fact that the Almeridians are starting to favor the Triangle Alliance. I'm realizing now that I completely forgot about East Asia there. Sorry about that. I am so sorry. We will see further expansion. I said I was going to, have them explore a bit more, but I idiotically did not do that. I'm so sorry about that. I had plans for India anyway, so I just kind of moved to India. That was what I did after, right? I think that's what I did. Yeah. We'll see this region being discovered. Kind of like, these are kind of like plateau-ish Himalayan areas, like they're flatter, but like not by much. But we will see Roar begin to wrong layer. Sorry about that. I gotta start remembering it. We will see Roar come up into these I guess Manchu regions and start their own kind of yeah, no, they're getting very big. But then again, a lot of this is just not really habitable. The Southern Chinese, or actually the Northern Chinese, we'll call them because they're part of Northern China. We'll just call them the Chinese. The Chinese will come into, these coastal Chinese regions and also take more land in their inland regions. Coming out here a bit. So yeah, they're very, very large. They're very large, but they're also very populous because this is very fertile ground. Let's have them take this as well. But yeah, they will definitely come out a bit more. There you go. As we can see, the old world is becoming very, very open now. Over here, we will see. Wow, wrong layer again. Over here, we will see the Arabian Desert fully discovered. Because, at this point, at this point, it just makes sense for them to go back and forth. They still are not really going too far into the desert. That being said, that's exactly what I'm going to make them do right now. I mean, not too far, but I mean, they're going to go in a bit just because, it just makes sense for them to at least make a few more claims. The Yemeni will definitely come up more. Over here, they'll come in a little bit, and they will actually now share a border with the blue team, the Omani, which the Omani do not like, because now they don't really have that many places to expand other than India, which this colony is already becoming rather unstable. Not overly, but, the, they're kind of getting a little tired of the control over a nation that, like, this, let's see how big they are. They are 50,300. They are 50,600. They are larger. So the groups over here, who are, some of them are ethnically, especially in the main regions, they are ethnically Omani, but even then, they still don't really like their government, but we'll come back to that later. Back over in this southern Indian region, Solaria, not Almeridia, Solaria will begin to come up over here, taking this entire coastline and just really hammering in. They are not a friendly nation. They will go to war with anyone who dares to stand in their way. They will actually also take these islands over here, a little base of operations, and they will continue their way into the Indian mainland. This red team will continue their way around into here, making a little weird border there. And Gondwana will continue to come up here, and they will not be focusing on their brother nations down south, because they're too good for them. We'll see them take that little lake. So yeah, the Gondwanans are definitely, I would say the Gondwanans are pretty rich, pretty powerful. But then again, the Solari are also probably super rich because a lot of nations are preferably going to trade with them. Since, India's very rich. The Oman. Oh, wait. No, I'm just realizing now. The Omani are super strong. Because they have a humongous Indian claim. Wait, yeah. What am I? I'm so stupid. Over here, we will see the Radu actually push out a bit. The Radu Khanate. But yeah, well, there'll be a Khanate now, because I feel like they definitely have like a Khan type of thing. Yeah, if you couldn't tell, the Radu, they're inspired by like Mongolians and Turkics, like Turkic tribesmen. I do actually know a lot about history, so I'm trying to implement a lot of like rhythms from history into this. A lot of things we see in modern civilizations, and antiquity, stuff like that. I'm trying to really hammer that in here. We'll see them come out over here and meet up. I think Lake of Azov. Wait, no, this is Sea of Azov. Wait, what am I talking about? Yeah, I forgot what this lake is called. All I know is that it's basically disappearing. Um, but yeah, these guys are getting big. They're getting very big. This Blue Radu, we'll call them Blue Radu. Blue Radu will come over here. I guess they're really preferring to elongate here rather than buff out, but it's good for them. Call them Kazakhstan. I know they're pretty far from Kazakhstan, but we'll call them Kazakhstan. I mean, at least some of their borders are in Kazakhstan. Most of their borders, I'm pretty sure. Right here, it's Teal Nation. They will come into these lakes over here. Claim these. I think that's good. Over here in Lake Baikal, we will see a new nation form. It will be called Baikal. Very, very creative. We'll call them the Baikal Khanate. Conganate. Cognate. Khanate. I'm saying Khanate because that sounds better. And it sounds kind of cooler as well. But yeah, they will take a lot of these Mongolian. We're kind of near Tuva. Oh, god damn it. Okay, I guess they're gonna get that. Um, yeah, we're kind of in this just the like Mongolian Turkic regions, like the core, like or at least where they kind of originated, I believe. But yeah, they're pretty big. They're kind of a pretty spanning country. Let's add their capitals, of course. Did you know Lake Baikal has seals? Very interesting. I don't know how they got there, but yeah, they have seals there. It's pretty cool, right? I found that out like a month ago. We'll have them come out a bit more. We'll discover these regions along with this island. I don't think it's going to be, Baikal doing this. It's probably going to be the Roar doing this. But we'll have them discover these regions along with this part of this northern Japanese island. That's like the Ainu Island where the Ainu people live. Is it called Ainu? I think the island might be called Ainu, but I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Don't get mad at me, please. We'll have these areas come out a bit more, these Russian regions, Belarusian regions. Now we're in Russian regions. So yeah, we have officially seen a lot more expansion. Overall, the world is becoming a lot more full. And with that, we will have the Fedonian, Fedonia. I think we'll just call them Fedonia for now because they're not really an empire yet. Spoiler alert. But yeah, we'll see them come up here a bit. And then take these, like, I think Copenhagen's over. Oh my god, not Copenhagen! Stockholm. Stockholm's over here. They'll encompass this lake fully. We're coming down over here. And just taking that. I'll also take these regions of Denmark before the Pomeranians will come up and take it for themselves. I kind of like come up with this as I go along. So if you ever hear me go like, that's just because I'm kind of thinking of what I should do next. I do actually have notes. I should probably look at my notes. The Fedonians. Sorry if I pause for a second before I say full names. I'm still getting used to these. The Fedonians will explore more of the Baltic Sea. There we go. And they'll discover Finland, or Lower Finland more so. And yeah, we'll finally fully get these regions. There we go. So yeah, a bit of land has been discovered. That's very nice. We will see actually the formation of a new nation over. Let me actually think. Where should we put a new nation? Let's put a new guy over Estonia. Or it's gonna look a little more like Livonia. But yeah, we'll have like a new kind of Estonian region, huh? That sounds good. You know? Yeah, they will start over here. Before coming around here, we'll call them Livonia. I think this is what it was called. It used to be called Livonia, like the Livonian Order, something like that. I forgot. But this is Livonia, and they will share a border with the Pomeranians right here. Actually, in fact, they'll come up into Finland a bit. Take a little claim here. Come around St. Petersburg, and come out like that and meet up with that lake. Yeah, there we go. Okay, it's kind of hard to see, but their capital will go right there. Let's close out that. So yeah, the world really is becoming a lot more filled out. Speaking of which, we will have the Transylvanians come up more into these regions up here. Sorry about that. You'll have them come up more into these regions over here, where the Pomeranians are meeting up with the Pomeranians. They're actually becoming a very thick country right here. The Transylvanians. I think over here we'll have yeah, I think we'll have the Germans conquer these regions. We'll have the Cacavellians come up here a bit, take this as their own claim, and we'll have the Pomeranians take this. Alright, so yeah, the Pomeranians, they look more like Prussia, honestly, but we'll keep calling them Pomerania, because I like that name a little more. Although Prussia's pretty cool, we'll admit. No, I don't want to hate on those Prussian lovers. They're, oh god, don't even get me started. I hate the way that looks. 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 Get rid of it. Ah, much better. Okay. Um. So yeah, Europe is officially, wow. Okay, they're a lot bigger. Oh, I really like the way it looks. Honestly, fun fact: I actually made a I started filming the third video and it was coming out trash, so I stopped. But I actually really like how this video is coming out. I really like it. I actually just checked back on some of my footage. I'm sorry about the beginning. I actually didn't have. I'm just realizing now how bad it sounds without it. I didn't have the actual mic on my headphones up to my mouth. Uh, so I want to apologize for that. Let's check the sizes so far. So the Cacavellians, 30,000. We know that. Pomerania is 7,000 about. Germany is 7,400. Transylvania is 11,000. Okay. So yeah, very nice. Speaking of Transylvania though, they will actually go to war with Pontus. They will occupy the city over here and also their surrounding regions. They very clearly want this land because it's just wealthy. Because there's a lot of Black Sea trade. That's why the Pontics and the Byzantines are so wealthy. We will see the Transylvanians come even more actually into the Crimean regions before we will actually see a Pontic response where they make a naval invasion over here, cutting off these Transylvanian troops and absolutely destroying them. Remember, Transylvania is a pretty new nation, but with that, we will see them continue their way, crushing into Dobruja, which is right here. But yeah, they will continue into Dobruja and attempt to take this city back, but the Transylvanians will actually push back and take the rest of Dobruja back. With this, a peace treaty will be created. The peace treaty will look a little something like this, where the Transylvanians will get this outpost, this very, very, very wealthy city in Dobruja, and that's a bit of a slap in the face for the Pontics, but I guess they just couldn't really handle the land capabilities of the Transylvanians, who definitely kicked their ass a bit. I will admit they did not handle that well. Let me check the ethnic map. Yeah, so over here in the ethnic map, we can see. I want to take a look at it for a bit. Over here, you can see that sorry about that. This is not ethnic cleansing taking place here. This is just kind of yeah, I want to bring up this map. When you see like nations change on this map, or like groups change on this map, it doesn't always mean like ethnic cleansing. It can also just mean like they're being assimilated into culture, which I guess is form of no, I don't guess that is in fact a form of ethnic cleansing. Sorry about that. But I guess it's more of a peaceful assimilation over a few hundred years. Over here, we will see the Persians do a similar thing and kind of assimilate these populations, and especially in these major city zones. Right there. The Cacavellians will continue to make their way up. But yeah, they will continue into Wales. They will actually take a very large portion right now. They will take major, 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 major regions over here and go all the way up over here before, yeah, meeting up with the colonies of the Irish, who will take the Highland regions of Scotland. That, while the Cacavellians will take the lowland regions of Scotland. So yeah, I guess they didn't really peacefully do that, but anywho. Speaking of the Irish will actually discover. It's kind of random, but they will in fact discover Greenland. I'm not even gonna be like they discover only part of Greenland because that's just a waste of time. So I'm just gonna have them discover all of Greenland. Um. Oh, sorry, not Greenland. This is Iceland. Yeah, this is Iceland. I'm so stupid. They'll maybe come out a bit more and then see nothing and come back. How unfortunate. Um, actually, how fortunate for that part of the world, but I mean for them. But yeah, we'll just have them kind of come out a bit more over here. But they will, in fact, make a very small colony over here in Iceland, right there. I'll just kind of come to the shores a bit, make a very long, but a very small and very sparsely populated colony. Over here, we will see the formation of a new nation. We'll call them Poland. I wonder why. Wait, hold on. Okay. Just want to make sure, like, in case they ever border each other, I don't want them to be too similar. But yeah, they will, say kind of like, just Polish regions. They'll look like a bit of a boot, probably, actually. Let me check. Do you guys look like a boot? Yeah, they look like a little boot. Yeah. So we'll probably change that up a bit, just so they aren't too boot-like. But yeah, we'll see them come out a bit over here. So Europe is pretty filled with like not I mean, yeah, they're pretty big nations. They're pretty filled up with large countries. These guys will come up here a little more. Take that. Take this and kind of come down the Dnieper River. Let's give them the capital. So yeah, there we go. We will see this Poland. We'll just call them Poland. So yeah, unfortunately for Pomerania, they will not have anywhere else to expand without going to war. Fortunate. Speaking of expansion, we will see these two, the Transylvanians and the Pontics, begin to compete for more inland regions. I mean, the Pontics are not like an inland oriented nation. Will kind of come up the Dnieper River. I think it's called the Dnieper River. I'm not sure. Could be wrong. But they'll come up here a bit more. They will take this, while Transylvania will take that. So yeah, Europe is pretty packed full of like large nations. Over in East Asia, we will see the Chinese. Just I'm gonna make their borders look better because I hate like the blob borders. It's so gross. We'll have them come out like this a bit. Yeah, there we go. Very, very nice. That's a lot better than the blob borders. Not perfect, but it'll do. It'll do. Roar will also just suddenly realize that it just should change its borders for no reason. Also have them take this entire island. They will also take these Ainu regions and set up like a little colony there, I suppose. I want to preface, I do have plans for there being a major change in maybe next episode. We might actually see more preparations for it in this episode. Maybe they will find the main Chinese island. But yeah, as I was saying, it might be in this episode where preparations start for it. I might do it. See. But yeah, I definitely think like it's gonna come up in the next, maybe the next episode or the episode after, on episode 4 or 5, maybe 6 if I'm nice to these nations. But yeah, I definitely say that we are in the early medieval, or like at least I'd say late antiquity, more so. Over in Germany, however, we will see a major domestic conflict begin. Over here in these Swiss areas, a revolt will begin. An entire part of the nation. Actually, you know what? Let me just draw out the borders right now. So we will see a total of 7, I guess, principalities within the overall Confederation of Germany break down. They will completely just evaporate. Or not, sorry, not evaporate. They will rebel against the main German Holy Roman Emperor. Seeing this, several countries will be like, this is a good place to intervene in. We will see the Pomeranians take these coastal regions and make their own claims over here. Continuing right here. The Swiss will begin to come over here and take these regions, while this nation over here, this kind of French looking thing, they will begin to come over here. And yeah, look at that. They will push in over there. The Machiavellian Republic will basically completely crush this one. And deem it, they're just helping Germany out. And Germany will commend this until they do a little funny thing and annex the entirety of this break-off group. So, yeah, Germany kind of knows it's screwed at this point. The Machiavellians, now knowing that the game is up, will cut off the Pomeranians and encircle the capital of Germany completely, which cuts it off from everything, which allows more Machiavellian troops over here to make their way in, taking this entire principality under their might, and forcing the troops of this kind of French principality back, while also pushing into them. So very nice. Very nice. They will continue on until they eventually take the entirety of it before pushing into the Swiss. Pomeranian troops will come into this region and try to kind of encircle this principality of it before coming into it and crushing half of it, expanding their front, over here. That kind of cuts all of this region off. This group, or rather, this city will now fully fall to the Cacavellian Republic, which basically forces the entirety of Germany to surrender, in which the Cacavellians will crush the rest of these principalities, including this small one right here, who literally did nothing, and also this pink one over here, which is rather big and, well, it's actually not powerful at all. It gets completely crushed. And their fight with the Swiss will probably go on for a couple more years before they are fully destroyed. With this, the Cacavellians and the Pomeranians will come to an agreement where they basically just get all of the land that they occupy. The Cacavellians will get this, while the Pomeranians will get this and this. You know, the Cacavellians are rather agreeable for what they are. Like a giant, massive European empire. They're pretty agreeable. But right here, we will see the capital completely, well, actually just turn into a major city of the great Cacavellian Republic. So yeah, I think we're going to end the video here. Thank you so much for watching. I think we actually got a good amount of stuff done. I like where this video has gone. I didn't want to make it too long like my last one. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will try to upload another video soon. Maybe I might film another tonight, maybe. Actually, probably not, because I need to edit. I need to edit. And I don't have that much space on my devices. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments. If you guys want me to like add music in the background, because it might be awkward sometimes. If you want me to do that, please tell me. I really don't know, like, if I should or shouldn't. So that would just be kind of helpful to know. But yeah, anywho, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Please subscribe as well. Don't forget that. And like the video.